tener un trabajo en algo que me encante. Quiero divertirme y a la vez conocer muchas personas. El Illinois Media School tiene muchas cosas increíbles que ofrecer, no solo para mí, sino para todos sus estudiantes. Y con todas las cosas que aprendes, no hay manera de no ser exitoso. Aprenderás no solo a hacer segmentos de audio al aire y usar el equipo de cámara, incluso puedes tener tu propio show de radio o televisión. Y los instructores trabajan en la industria. Así que visita bionair.com y empieza tu carrera en broadcasting ya.
What if there were no rules, no limits, nothing to stop you pushing harder, running faster, reaching higher? What if you could train and perform at your peak, feel stronger for longer, be your best, always, every time?
Everyone has insecurities, and it really is about what you choose to do with them. Insecurities don't have to define you, but they can create a story for you. There's a positive way to be fulfilled through female athletics. If I could do one thing, it would just be to give someone the inspiration, be able to be more than they ever thought they could be.
And welcome back here to the ballpark at Rosemont on NPF TV as well as the Olympic Channel.
I want to have a
Mike
job in
Knezovic along
something
with
I
Barbara
love.
Jordan joining us out here tonight for this ball game between the Texas Charge and the Beijing Shogang Eagles. And Barbara, an exciting day out here today and an opportunity for both these ball clubs to kind of right the ship, so to speak. Texas coming in at 2-3 and Beijing at 0-4 so far. So we've had a chance to visit with both coaches and both teams looking for some improvement tonight.
So go to beonair.com and start your future in broadcasting today.
There is a lot of improvement.
The Illinois Center for Broadcasting is now the Illinois Media School.
Progression along the way. We have seen them go from getting no hits to 2 hits to a few hits to where the other night they really put out a nice offensive production. And for the Texas Charge, they had a nice series against the Scrapyard Dogs. And although they didn't win this series, they did a lot of things well offensive-wise. And one of those, they came away with a lot of long balls.
Star players on both sides, of course. Everybody knows about Liu Ying right now, the third baseman for the Beijing Eagles, doing a great job. And Shi Kai-Lin, their catcher, got Rookie of the Year in the NPF for last week. And, of course, on the Charge, you've got a couple of all-NBF players coming back from last year.
Yeah, it's a great group. And I think for the Eagles, they're showing us the flavor of international softball. And for the Texas Charge, they're in a new location. They have only 6 players back from last year's roster. So really a new bunch, but an exciting bunch. I think we're going to see a blend of speed as well as power.
We'll see how the pitching holds up for the Charge here, Barbara, because Haley McClenny, outfielder, is gone. But the key, Allie Carter, had such a great start this season. Both of those performers going to Team USA. So we'll see how Dallas Escobedo does in the circle tonight.
Well, the thing about Dallas Escobedo is she's a veteran of the league. She spent some time playing for the Pennsylvania Rebellion. But now this is her first year on the Texas Charge, and I like that. I think Dallas brings not only experience, but the way she moves the ball, the way she takes charge of the circle, and I think that's something that the Texas Charge needs.
Meanwhile, the Beijing Eagles are going to go with Wan Lin, their starter from the game 1 in the season. She's done a great job in the circle, so we've got a great pitching matchup out here tonight. We're going to take a brief timeout. When we come back, Teresa Wilson, the skipper of the Beijing Eagles, will join us here as we get set for game 1 of this set here at the ballpark at Rosemont as the Beijing Eagles host the Texas Charge on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
I want to have a job in something I love. I want to have fun and meet new people. I want to be social.
The Illinois Media School has so many cool things they offer for me and their students.
With the amount of stuff you learn, there's no way you won't succeed. You'll learn how to do a voiceover, how to use camera equipment. I mean, actual hands-on. You can even host your own radio or TV show. All of our instructors actually work in the industry too. So go to beonair.com and start your future in broadcasting today.
The Illinois Center for Broadcasting is now the Illinois Media School. We've been an institution in the Chicagoland area now for 30 years. Because the broadcasting world is always changing, so are we. Not only are we teaching radio and television production, but now you can learn all aspects of the media industry, like web design. You can even specialize in TV or film, sports broadcasting, and even sales. No matter where you are in the Chicagoland area, we have a campus near you. The Illinois Media School. Be on TV, be on radio, beonair.com.
Well, I got started at IMS because I really had nothing going on for me. I didn't have a job. I wasn't in school, and I was just getting out of my other school. I knew I wanted to go into broadcasting, but I didn't want to spend too much time in college. I'd already spent about 4 years, and I was like, I really don't have that much time to just play around anymore. So I really wanted to get into the business, and I had a friend, and he went to the school, graduated, and I saw he was already in the business, and everything was happening so quickly, and I went to him, I was like, hey, how did you get started? And he said, at the time, Illinois Center for Broadcasting, and I was like, all right. So I looked into it, went on a tour, and it changed my life. It really did. From the first step I took into the place, you felt the energy in there, and so many positive vibes coming from everywhere. And
welcome back here to the ballpark at Rosemont. Teresa Wilson, the head coach of the Beijing Eagles, is going to join us here and coach 4 games in the book so far with the ball games against the Chicago Bandits. We talked about baby steps before you guys could run, and it seemed like every game confidence was getting better for the team. How is that level going on right now as you head towards the Charge series?
Well, every time we have an off day, we actually do 2-a-days for practice. So their goal is to get better throughout the course of the year. We're trying to fit as much practice as we can. The games are kind of like the tests after practice, and so we just take it one day at a time and do everything we can do.
Talked about the hitters having an adjustment with the off-speed pitches versus the fastball. I think mission accomplished, especially later on in the series. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, they're starting to recognize the off-speed pitch a little bit. Being able to adjust their timing to that is critical, of course. And then the really tough part is seeing a new pitcher who's just as good every single night. So that's something that they really haven't seen before, but that's what's good about it.
We saw Wang earlier in the season, Wang earlier in the season in the first game, and then later on, talk about what she brings, number 30 brings to the circle, both mentally as well as physical talent.
Well, she's got a little age on her, so she's experienced. She loves to compete. She is a competitor. Tell her she can't do something, she'll try to prove you wrong. So she's now starting to see the need for some breaking pitches, and so that's what we've been trying to start to develop on those off days. So I think half the battle is just seeing what I need to do and then being willing to do it, and I've been very pleased so far.
Always appreciate the time, Coach, and best of luck of the series against the Charge.
Thank you very much.
Teresa Wilson, the head coach of the Beijing Eagles, has joined us here. We'll send it back to the studio for a brief timeout, and we'll come back with the series opener as the Texas Charge will take on the Beijing Eagles here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
Now the starting lineup for the Eagles.
Quiero tener un trabajo en algo que me encante. Quiero divertirme y a la vez conocer muchas personas. El Illinois Media School tiene muchas cosas increíbles que ofrecer, no solo para mí, sino para todos sus estudiantes. Y con todas las cosas que aprendes, no hay manera de no ser exitoso. Aprenderás no solo a hacer segmentos de audio al aire y usar el equipo de cámara, incluso puedes tener tu propio show de radio o televisión. Y los instructores trabajan en la industria. Así que visita beonair.com y empieza tu carrera en broadcasting ya.
What if there were no rules? No limits? Nothing to stop you pushing harder, running faster, reaching higher. What if you could train and perform at your peak, feel stronger for longer, be your best, always, every time?
everybody to the ballpark at Rosemont as the Texas Charge takes on the Beijing Shogun Eagles. Right now, we're going to toss it down to the field as we get ready for our national anthem.
Sponsored by Rawlings Softball.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ballpark at Rosemont. Tonight's game features the Texas Charge visiting the home team, the Shogun Eagles. Texas Charge coming off a 2-3 weekend after they opened up against the Scrapyard Dogs. Saw a lot of offense from the Texas Charge this past weekend. They showed us some of their speed, but really this is a team with only 6 players returning from last year's roster. They have a lot of power and a new head coach in Crystal Bustos and a new general manager in Scott Smith.
And great to be back with you here, and great to be with Barbara Jordan, who a lot of folks out there have seen and heard on ESPN as well as NPF TV and CBS Sports Network with their coverage of the championship series and throughout the regular season. It's great to be with you here tonight, Barbara, and we've got a perfect night for softball, maybe a little bit of a pitcher's night with that wind blowing in over the center field wall.
I think right now we're looking for both teams to get on track early in today's game. It's going to be a great pitching matchup.
It sure will, as Juan Langlon on the right side for the Beijing Eagles, hurling for the Beijing Eagles, and on the right side, the veteran Dallas Escobedo that you talked about a little bit before the game, Barbara, a veteran that certainly knows how to get hitters out. Let's take a look at our Rawlings starting lineup in today's ball game. First of all, for the Dallas Charge, they are coached by Crystal Bustos. They will have Taylor Gadboys, the All-NPF performer from last year, in center. Bailey Landry in left, batting second. Nadia Taylor will be in right field, switching over from her third base spot, batting third. Then in the cleanup position, a designated player tonight will be Lauren Hager. It'll be Misha Sadarako at first base, Kristen Sandberg, the veteran, behind the plate, Missy Takiaku at third base, Amanda Kamakona over there at second, Renata Davis, another veteran at shortstop, and the aforementioned Escobedo will be the flex player and at pitcher for the Texas Charge, who come in with that record of 2-3. And let's take a look at the Diamond Sports defensive alignment for the Beijing Eagles. After the first pitch coming up here to the left-handed hitter, Taylor Gadbois. As you mentioned, the wind coming in about probably 10 to 15 miles an hour. As Wang Lan goes into the windup, pitch is popped up off of the screen. 4 strike 1 defensively for the Eagles. Su Shun will be in left field. Chen Jia in center. Yuan Wei Ning will be in right. The infield from third to first, the veteran leader, Lu Ying. It'll be Liu Lili over at shortstop, Chao Ching at second, and Shu Jia over at first, who's creeping in on the bag as that pitch stays outside. And the battery will be the Rookie of the Week in the NPF, Shi Kai Lin, and the pitcher, Wang Lan, who right now is getting a talking to from the third base umpire, Bill Gamala. Behind the plate calling balls and strikes tonight will be Steve Gold. Tom Topping will be over at first base for the men in gray and black. So 1 ball, 1 strike to the leadoff hitter here for the Charge. As Wang Lin goes into the windup, and the right-hander delivers. Beautiful bunt, picked up on the play by Bowling, and her throw will not nearly be in time. So a nice start here for the Charge on a bunt single by Gadbois.
What we see right there is the speed of Taylor Gadbois.
1 ball,
known
1 strike to the leadoff hitter here for the Charge.
Bat control as she lays
Wang
down
Lin
some
goes
short
into the
game.
windup, and the
Bowling playing back at third base.
Delivers, beautiful
nice
bunt,
touch
picked up on the play
with that bat on the ball.
So that'll bring Bailey Landry to the dish from the left-hand side. And her job is going to be to get that ball to the right side and get Taylor. She takes off on the first pitch, and that slashed into the dugout area. So hit and run right off the bat here for Coach Bustos.
Bailey Landry, fresh out of LSU. This is her first career professional at bat.
Again, they go with the runner. The ball's popped up. It's going to fall and then go foul. So good job there by the first baseman, Shu Jia, to let that ball go. Kind of recognized that there was some English on that ball, and it ended up going into foul territory.
For Shu Jia, that's really her only play. If she makes that play
again,
in
they
fair
go with the runner. The ball's popped up. It's going to fall and then go foul. So
good
job there by the first.
By the Eagles.
Outfield is playing medium depth and straight away. For the first professional at bat here for Bailey Landry. Pitch out, throw by Sheen Kylene, and it goes into center field. Good job by backing up there by Chen Jia, or else the leadoff hitter Gadbois would have been all the way over to third base. Throw was right there, Barbara, just nobody covered.
Yeah, for the Eagles, they knew exactly what was going on. They recognized Gadbois' speed. They pitch out, but the shortstop, Lee was late getting over to second base, and that's what enabled Gadbois to slide in safely.
So now the job is to get the runner over to third with less than 2 out for Bailey Landry. Shi Kai Lane gives out the signal to Wang Lan, and the veteran goes into her delivery, and a swing and a miss. So a good job there. That ball looked like it dropped right off the end of the table there on Landry.
Nice job by Wang Lan going down and in. With 2 strikes, that's a tough pitch for anybody to hit, especially a slapper, when they're trying to move the ball to the left side of the field.
So double-eight's Nadia Taylor will come to the plate. Different position for her, as you see again, beautiful drop pitch there, and a good job by the shortstop moving over to third base in case there was a stolen base attempt there by Gadbois. And Nadia Taylor playing a different position tonight. Normally she's over there at the hot corner.
Well, Nadia Taylor came into this season in the best shape, I think, of her life, and that's including her collegiate career at Texas. She started working out for the season back in September. She said she's worked with a strength coach, speed coach. She's worked on her defense and offense 5 days a week. She wanted to be ready for this season, and then she just lit up when she heard the news that Crystal Bustos would be their new head coach.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner in scoring position. And kind of a half swing there is fouled into the screen. Here at the ballpark at Rosemont, 210 down each line. Here at the ballpark, 220 to straightaway center field. And it may play a little bit longer tonight with that aforementioned wind coming in over the center field wall. So Wang gets her sign from the Rookie of the Week in the NPF. Here's the 1-2. And let's see if they appeal down to the umpire between first and second. They do not. They throw down, but I guess they did rule that she was able to check that swing. Now they are going to go ahead and appeal. And the first base umpire, Tom Topping, says that Nadia is still alive at 2-2. Taylor coming in at .455 on the season so far. Couple home runs and 4 runs driven in the first 5 games for the Charge. Outfield playing medium depth, respecting the speed of Gadbois, trying to frame it there with Sheik Eileen. And now we'll have our first 3and2sports.com payoff of the evening. Nancy Bowling about a step inside the bag at third base in the rear part of your screen. Here's the payoff. That's a little nubber in front of home plate. That's going to serve just like a bunt. And now coming in with that speed to score is Taylor Gadbois as they threw it down to first base, and she just kept going around the hot corner, Barbara.
I'll tell you what, you cannot teach the base running skills of Taylor Gadbois. It is pure instinct. Nadia Taylor does an excuse me swing and just chops it right out in front of the plate. It's a nice job by Kylene to get the out over there at first base, but Gadbois goes from second to home in the blink of an eye.
Boy, that shades of Sammy Marshall over here at the ballpark at Rosemont, scoring from first base on a bunt single right up in front of the circle. Earlier this season is now the designated player and star pitcher for the Charge. Lauren Hager will come to the plate as the former Gator takes it for strike one. Lauren getting that bat ready there in the middle of the strike zone. And she slaps it into left field for a base hit, played on a hop by Soon Shun. So that's the second base hit of the inning here for the Charge. And they will bring it over now to Misha Sadaraka, the first baseman for Texas. Hager came into that bat 1 for 5. So now she's up to 333 on the average as the first pitch to Misha. A little bit outside for ball one. Is there you get a good look at number 30 for the Beijing Eagles in the circle tonight. The veteran has done a great job so far for head coach Teresa Wilson. Ball is fisted down to the shortstop, picked up by Liu Lili, but her throw goes to the left field side of second base. So that's going to be an E6 and put 2 runners on here with 2 outs for the Charge.
Unfortunately, that's 2 errors for Liu Lili. One was a mental mistake where she didn't cover second base on the pitch out. This one right here, throwing error, as she throws wide of second base. And Chao Jing unable to come up with that ball.
There's a quick release there, which was very good by Liu Lili. Just got to get the accuracy down. And now we're going to have a force at every base, but the dangerous veteran, Kristen Sandberg, a former Bulldog from the University of Georgia, will come up here for the visitors. So good speed aboard for the Charge. They already lead at 1-0. And the pitch catches the letters for strike one.
Sandberg had spent some time in the National Pro Fast Pitch. Her rookie season, she played for USSSA, where she was Rookie of the Year.
See, off to a very uncharacteristic slow start there for the backstop. Laces it right past the third baseman, Lu Ying, but it will go foul as the veteran there tried to go with a circus catch. There you get a look at Roman Four, the former assistant coach for the Chicago Bandits, now coaching down at third for the Texas Charge. So a loud strike there for Kristen, and now a little bit of wiggle room here for Wang Lan with an 0-2 pitch coming up. 2 outs, a 1-0 lead, and 2 runners on. And framing it on the outside court, and Wang Lan wanted that one, but it was not coming there from the home plate umpire, Steve Gould. Again, the outfield playing medium depth, trying to cut off the runner at second base, Hager. As there you get a good look at Lauren going towards the third base bag here on this 1-2 delivery. Little tap on the play out to Wang, and she'll just flip it over to the first baseman, Shu Jia. And that will finally retire the side for the Texas Charge. But in the frame, they do break through with a run. They do so on 2 base hits. There was 1 error and 2 runners left on base. So we'll head to the bottom half of the first inning of play. The Texas Charge have scored. The Beijing Eagles are coming to bat. We'll be back after a brief timeout on the Olympic Channel as well as right here on NPF TV.
Everyone has insecurities, and it really is about what you choose to do with them. Insecurities don't have to define you, but they can create a story for you. There's a positive way to be fulfilled through female athletics. If I could do one thing, it would just be to give someone the inspiration, be able to be more than they ever thought they could be.
So Chen Jia will come to the plate. She's done a terrific job offensively so far, hitting .444, 4 out of 9 here in the early part of this season. You know, Barbara, talking to Teresa Wilson, she was just talking about all the different adjustments that these athletes are going to have to make throughout this season, as here's the 0-1 now by Dallas. Fouled back, so again, she's ahead of the second consecutive hitter, no balls and 2 strikes. But, you know, just the adjustments that they're going to have to make to, obviously, a new culture for one thing, but, you know, you had to get over the jet lag to start off with, and then you have to get the equipment to where it needs to be. And as here's the 0-2, and that stays just a little bit low, but just a lot of different adjustments, and then also adjusting to a new style of pitching here in America.
Yeah, I think that the adjustment obviously is the key word to this entire paragraph that we're about to have. But one, take it from just looking at it fundamental-wise. Look at the pitching. I think that the speed of the pitchers here in the United States is something that these players are not used to seeing. So I think it's great for them to come over here to get that exposure. And we have seen them make some great adjustments. Again, they were no hit, then they got a couple hits in their first couple games, and then in their last game they really started to get a little more comfortable in the box, and we're starting to see their offense come together.
Lu Ying, the young lady who held the flag for the People's Republic of China in the pregame ceremony, down 0-1, checks it up on that one. She's had really good offensive power with a couple doubles so far out of her 3 hits, and they've all been to center field with some pretty good depth from the left-hand side. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. The Eagles trail it 1-0, and now Escobedo is 1 strike away from striking out the side.
One of the things that makes Escobedo so good is that she's always around the plate. So when she gets ahead, she can really just lay that ball a little outside, and as we mentioned, she loves her rise ball.
Now deuces are wild, and your point is well taken there, Barbara, and that's also easy on the fielders too. When you're right around the plate, they know they're going to be out there and they're going to be playing softball. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to the veteran for the Eagles. And that ball is laced out to left field, and the first start for Bailey Landry, and she gets her first put out and NPF action as well to retire the side. So a 3-up and 3-down inning for Dallas Escobedo and the Texas Charge with no runs, hits, or errors, and no runners left on base. We've got an inning in the books as Bailey Landry comes down with the grab to finish the first frame here at the ballpark at Rosemont. The Charge lead the Eagles 1-0 here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
Everyone has insecurities, and it really is about what you choose to do with them. Insecurities don't have to define you, but they can create a story for you. There's a positive way to be fulfilled through female athletics. If I could do one thing, it would just be to give someone the inspiration, be able to be more than they ever thought they could be.
Welcome back here to the ballpark at Rosemont as we get set for the top half of the second inning of play. And Blast Motion is the official sensor technology of National Pro Fast Pitch. The Blast Softball Swing Analyzer app captures video highlights of your swings, combines them with Blast Sensor Metrics, helps you analyze your mechanics, and provides drills for improvement. The 360-degree solution empowers athletes to get better. Purchase yours today at blastmotion.com. We move to the top half of the second inning of play. 1-0 lead for the Texas Charge. Missy Takiyaku, Amanda Kamakona, and Renata Davis to face the right-handed slants of Wang Lan for the Beijing Eagles. And we've got a discussion going on right now with the home plate umpire, Steve Gold, as both assistant coaches here for the Charge are out. And looks like we may have a change already for the Texas Charge, as number 33 has picked up a bat. Well, now that is Missy. So I'm not sure what the discussion was. Actually, it might have been a couple of insertions on the defensive end here for the Eagles.
Third baseman, number 33, Missy Takiyaku.
So we'll see if we can get those changes for the Eagles. Look like both first and third have been replaced defensively here for Beijing. First pitch by Wang Lan is on the inside corner. Nice breaking pitch here to Missy. She stands in at .429 in the early season, 3 of 7, with a double to her credit. Slightly open stance from the right-hand side. It's going to be a tough play for Liu Lili. Laser beam throw across the first, and she got her by a step. Nicely done.
Second baseman, number 47, Amanda Kamakona.
Liu Lili gets a great jump on this ball. She reads the bounce. She charges it immediately, but what I love is her quick release and, of course, her accurate arm.
Yeah, we saw that on the throw that went errant at second base, so the technique is certainly sound, and that one was right on the money across the diamond. So the former Bandit from last season's Coles Cup run, Amanda Kamakona, 154 on the season, 2 for 13 with a run scored. And she has had one of those hits leave the yard so far. Now Lon quickly ahead of her, no balls and 2 strikes. 1-2-0 so far for the Charge, and goose eggs across the board with an error. as the former UCLA Bruins struggling a little bit here in the early going offensively. Slightly open stance from the right-hand side. Both corner infielders in. Good job by Wang Lan to field her position, and that's out number 2.
For Beijing is number 17, Yuan Ming Han.
Nice job by Wang Lan. It's a great sign when a pitcher can field their position, and right here, Kamikona actually hits it pretty sharp. Wang Lan does a nice job defensively.
So 2 up and 2 down. That's now 4 in a row retired by Wang Lan. So 3 substitutions for Teresa Wilson. She was not afraid to go to the bench early and often the last time out. As number 17 now, Yuan Ming Han is in at first base for the Eagles. That ball is fisted into the bullpen for strike 2. Wang Bei now in at third base at the hot corner. And Chung Yen in at second base for the Beijing Eagles. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Wang Lan trying to get a 3 up and 3 down inning. Barely missed on that one, and both her and Shi Kai-Lin wanted that 3rd strike. Renata Davis is up there now. Davis, a veteran of the NPF Wars, playing at shortstop tonight again. Former Wolfpack from North Carolina State, hitting at 250 in the early going. Here's the 1-2. Davis has had some pop in the bat, Barbara, in the early part of her career.
We've seen Renata Davis actually bat in the leadoff spot. Last year we saw her in the 2-hole playing for the Charge. This year she's down in the 9 spot, and what that tells us is that the Charge has added a lot of power. And that pushes Renata Davis all the way from the top of the lineup to the bottom.
Gets him a nice turnover back to Taylor Gadboys if she can get there on the 1-2 let up, and that's laced way over the head of the left fielder Su Shun, who will play it off a bounce on the wall as Renata Davis will scoot into second base with a stand-up double.
This is a great spot in the lineup for Renata Davis. She has speed, she has power, as she laces this ball down the left field line.
Nice job by the relay team there of Leo Lili and Shu Shun to get that ball in quickly to prevent Davis from thinking about a triple. That's her first extra base hit of the campaign. So runner in scoring position now with 2 outs for the Charge, who already lead at 1-0. And now they're going to try to steal third, and Leo Lili puts it on her. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning. A beautiful throw there by Shi Kai-Lin to Leo Lili. So that'll go 2-6 on the caught stealing of Renata Davis and retire the side. So in the inning for the Charge, no runs, 1 base hit, and nobody left on the caught stealing as Leo Lili puts the tag on Renata Davis over at the hot corner. We've completed an inning and a half here at the ballpark at Rosemont. It's the Texas Charge 1 and the Beijing Eagles 0. You're watching exciting NPF action on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
I got started at IMS through a good friend of mine and a colleague at 670 The Score, Rick Camp, who knew I was an instructor at other universities and knew I was looking to get into a place with passionate students who know what they want to do. They know this is what they want to do for a living, and I have absolutely found that in my time here at IMS. The students are driven, they're passionate about broadcasting, radio, TV, internet, every asset of broadcasting they are completely passionate about, and it's very refreshing for me having come from a university where students are obsessed with their general eds and other things that distract them from their major. These students here are here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to break into the broadcasting business, and it's some of the best and brightest young talent I've seen in my 16 years in the industry. My name is Jay Zawaski. I'm an executive producer for 670 The Score. I'm an instructor here at IMS, and I am IMS.
Mike Konezovich, Barbara Jordan, back with you here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV as we move to the bottom half of the second inning of play. The Texas Charge with a 1-0 lead over the Beijing Eagles. It'll be the middle third of the lineup for Teresa Wilson, with Shi Kai-Ling, the Rookie of the Week of the NPF, leading it off, followed by Nancy Bowling and Su Shun to face the right-handed slants of Dallas Escobedo. Eagles looking for their first hit of the ball game. Charge have threatened and scored in the first, and then had a runner thrown out with 2 outs at third base in the second inning of play. That ball's fouled right back towards us. Missy Takiaku playing way in at the bag at third base here, Barbara, looking for a potential bunt.
Yeah, you don't think that usually from a 4-hitter, but Shi Kai-Ling, she can do it all. She's got some speed along with power.
Dallas is 0-1, a little bit up top. Shi Kai-Ling coming off a terrific 4-game series against the Chicago Bandits. And a beautiful off-speed pitch there by Escobedo for strike 3. So Dallas now has retired 3 of the first 4 hitters via the strikeout, and the first one looking tonight.
A lot of success here early for Dallas Escobedo, and part of that is she is getting ahead early in the count, and she's really doing whatever she wants to do. There we see her get the first out with her changeup.
Now the former Arizona Wildcat Nancy Bowling will come to the plate. Double sixes has been utilized in a lot of different positions for Coach Wilson. He's pitched a couple times in that first series against the Bandits. Played first base in college, but now they got over at the hot corner on the defensive end of things. And she takes that one on the black of the outside corner to even the count up at 1 apiece. Nancy, so far, as you see, both batting and pitching statistics for double sixes. Here's the 1-1.
A lot of people wonder how Nancy Bowling got on the Beijing Eagles, and part of that is she played her college career at the University of Arizona, and at the time, the head coach of the Eagles was then the assistant coach for the University of Arizona, who actually recruited Nancy to play for the Wildcats.
We had talked about it in the Bandit series as well. Not only a terrific player on the field, but what credentials in the classroom as well for this young lady, as she was a multiple-year academic All-American as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 outs in the bottom of the second. Grounded down to the second baseman, Kami Kona. Her quick flip over on the plate to Sadaraka. 1 up and 1 down here for the Eagles in the bottom of the second.
Again, a nice job by Escobedo. That ball just beaten Bowling on the outside corner as she grounds out to second base.
So the UCLA Bruin making it look easy over there. And now Su Shun will come to the dish here from the left-hand side. The Eagles have been pretty strong from the left-hand side as far as their lineup, the way it's set up so far. But Coach Wilson will certainly go to the bench early and often, trying to get the combination that she wants against the pitcher. And the 0-1 is waved on and missed by Su Shun.
I think that one of the biggest things that head coach Teresa Wilson has to look at is quality at bats. Are the batters taking good swings at good pitches? Are they swinging at pitches that are actually in the zone?
Trying to frame that one was Kristen Sandberg. 2 for 10 so far in the early part of the season for Su Shun. Couple singles. Showing a good arm in the outfield. Here's the 1-2 by Escobedo. And now we've got Deuces Wild with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The Charge have picked up a run in the first inning as Taylor Gadbois came all the way around from second base on a swinging bunt by Nadia Taylor in the Charge half of the first inning. The 2-2 is grounded slowly. Kami Kona is going to have to hustle, and she goes with a little underhanded flip, and she picks up her second consecutive putout here in as many appearances at the plate, Barbara.
It's a nice job by Kami Kona. Covers a lot of ground. A nice soft toss to get the third out of the inning.
So 6 in a row retired here by Dallas Escobedo. A perfect 2 innings of work in the circle. We'll head to the top half of the third as the Charge continue to lead the Eagles 1-0 on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
tener un trabajo en algo que me encante. Quiero divertirme y a la vez conocer muchas personas. El Illinois Media School tiene muchas cosas increíbles que ofrecer, no solo para mí, sino para todos sus estudiantes. Y con todas las cosas que aprendes, no hay manera de no ser exitoso. Aprenderás no solo a hacer segmentos de audio al aire y usar el equipo de cámara, incluso puedes tener tu propio show de radio o televisión. Y los instructores trabajan en la industria. Así que visita bionair.com y empieza tu carrera en broadcasting ya.
Hit and run with the world's most advanced compression technology. 2XU is the official compression wear of National Pro Fast Pitch. That's the number 2, and then XU is the secret weapon of the NPF and improves exercise ability, sports performance, and recovery. Visit www.2xu.com or follow on all social media at 2XU. Back to the top of the order, and Taylor Gadbois, and she took a half swing on that one, and the count evens up at 1 apiece. Taylor singled in the first, an infield single, and eventually came around on that swinging bunt by Nadia Taylor all the way around from second base to give the Charge the lead. Taylor, one of 2 all-NPF performers on this team from last year. The other one in the circle, and Lauren Hager for the Charge.
And Mike, we mentioned that only 6 players are back for the Charge this year from last year's roster. So that's 1/3 of the players that made all NPF are back this year.
Yep, and that's certainly a good base to work off of. As that ball's chopped, going to be a tough play for Leo Lely, and she's able to not make it. Good job by Taylor Gadbois from the left-hand side, and it was lucky for the Charge that she was batting from the left-hand side.
Wow, that's a close play over there at first base. Leo Lely does another great job of reading the bounce. Once she sees it take that high hop, she explodes towards the ball. Another quick release. I actually thought they had Gadbois over there at first base.
Definitely a bang-bang call, and as you mentioned, a very quick release for Leo Lely, who's getting more and more comfortable at the shortstop position. So way in is Wang Lei at third base. There's the hit and run, and again, nobody covering over at second base for the Eagles, and Gadbois takes advantage of that situation, and now the Eagles are discussing and trying to communicate what they need to do as you take a look at the replay here.
There's a lot of different defenses. Now, no one's covering second base. Leo Lely's actually covering the 5-6 hole for Bailey Landry's speed. So Chung Yun, who did not start the game, should have been covering second baseman on that. The first baseman was staying back, covering the bag.
Now you got to watch out here because Leo Lely is going to actually have to run with Taylor Gadbois towards the third base bag if she decides to go. And she is actually going over there and covering on that pitch.
So a big thing for Bailey Landry here is to read the defense. You can see the defense is pulled in tightly. The outfield is pulled in tightly. And what they don't know is that Bailey Landry can hit with a little bit of power.
1-1 pitch is slapped right into the glove of the shortstop. Diving attempt for the double play by Chao Jing is just a little bit late. But certainly a great job by the newly inserted Chao Jing at second base.
This is a nice shot by Bailey Landry. She laces this ball. Chung Yen at second base makes a nice defensive play. The ball's hit sharply to her right. And she tries to get Gadbois doubled off at second base. Gadbois did get her hand back in there.
So now they're saying that they're actually saying that Landry is still up. So it must have been an illegal pitch.
Yeah, we're going to try to find out, but if an illegal pitch was called, it is just a ball on the batter. The runner does not advance in pro fast pitch on an illegal pitch.
Yeah, we found that out in the series down in Texas many times. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And that one's fouled off of Shi Kai-Lin and off the screen.
And Mike and I joke about that. Down over the weekend, the Scrapyard Dogs played the Texas Charge, and one game alone, Monica Abbott had over 15 illegal pitches. And all that led for her was just a ball on the batter, although she did have several walks on the day.
Right.
But those runners, not like you see in college softball, They do not advance.
The 2-2 is laced right into the glove of Su Shun. They'll try to get the double play. They would have had her if the ball would have been held there by Chao Jing. And we talked about the arm of Su Shun, and she really was able to exhibit at that time, and also some great concentration on this laser beam.
Landry lines it down the left field line. Sun Chun gets a great jump, and I love the way she turns her body and fires it over to second base. Chung Yen unable to come up with it.
Yen was actually playing like a first baseman there, stretching out to try to get that throw a little bit earlier from Su Shun. And an equally good job there of base running by Taylor Gadbois to get back safely to keep the Charge inning alive with 2 outs now to Nadia Taylor. Double Eights takes that one on the outside corner for strike one. Nadia so far 0 for 1 as she tapped out to the catcher first baseman. Little bunt, or swinging bunt. So right now, 1 out. Runner on second base. Open stance from the right-hand side as Taylor hits that one right up the elevator shaft. Calling off anybody is Yuan Ming Han. And she will make the catch here now for out number 2. One thing this Eagles team has done throughout the early part of this first 4+ innings in this 5th game of the season, they do a great job of communicating defensively. So Lauren Hager is 1 for 1 so far with a single to left in her first appearance. And she'll take that one on the inside corner for strike one.
The head coach of the Eagles, Teresa Wilson, actually went over to China and watched these players play in a tournament and help pick this team. And one of the things she really liked about the Beijing players was their defense.
Wang Lan into the windup at the bottom of the circle. Yeah, they had a tournament there with all the top teams from each province play in the national tournament, and that's how they were able to put together this ball club. So the former Gator stands in now in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top half of the 3rd. That's a good waist pitch there by Wang Lan. That had some mustard on it, about 65 miles an hour. Outfield playing medium depth and straight away. Looking to possibly throw out the speedy Gadbois on a base hit to the outfield, but they're not going to even have to throw down there because Wang Lan comes up with the strikeout, her second of the evening, as she gets Lauren Hager swinging on a high rise ball that time. And good job there as Hager swings and misses. They do throw down to third, but no need to, as that was the 3rd out of the frame. So the Charge failed to score here at the top half of the 3rd. They do pick up a base hit, but they do strand the runner. They've stranded 3 now in 3 offensive innings of softball. We'll head to the bottom half of the 3rd. The Charge lead the Eagles 1-0 here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
What if there were no rules? No limits? Nothing to stop you pushing harder, running faster, reaching higher. What if you could train and perform at your peak, feel stronger for longer, be your best, always, every time?
Everyone has insecurities, and it really is about what you choose to do with them. Insecurities don't have to define you, but they can create a story for you. There's a positive way to be fulfilled through female athletics. If I could do one thing, it would just be to give someone the inspiration, be able to be more than they ever thought they could be.
Bottom half of the third inning coming your way here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV. So glad you could join us. Mike Konezovich along with Barbara Jordan, Ryan Fahey and the crew, Peter Ferrari, everybody doing a great job on the production out here this evening. The USSSA Pride holding on to a 3-0 lead over the Chicago Bandits late in that ball game as they look for a sweep in that 3-game series down there in Florida. And a swing and a miss by the newly inserted number 17, Yeo Ming Han, for the Eagles. Escobedo has faced 6 Eagle hitters so far and retired them all. And she's picked up 3 strikeouts in those 6 punch-outs so far. So Yeo Ming Han now trying to check up that swing, and again, they just cannot lay off that rise ball, Barbara, and that thing is really taken off on the Eagle hitters.
Escobedo continues to get ahead of the batters, and again, stretching the zone. This time we see her get her with that rise. Very tempting pitch.
Bandits in that game got a couple base hits from the top of the order with Marshall and Moss, but that was about it. 4 of the 5 hits against the Pride as this one is hit back, and Kristen Sandberg with an effort there at the screen, but she runs out of real estate. Kalani Ricketts picks up her 2nd win in the early going with 6 solid innings of work, and the lockdown closer, Jordan Taylor, comes in and picks up the save with a couple strikeouts in the 7th. So no balls and a strike here for Chao Jing. Actually, that's Chung Yen in there now. She came in defensively, number 37 for the Eagles. And she's in the hole now, no balls and 2 strikes. And that bat has laced it into left field, and a good job of playing her shallow there by Bailey Landry, who picks up her 2nd put out in her young NPF career for out number 2.
Nice job by Landry. Looks routine, but understands her fielding ability, so she's actually playing in knowing she can cover the ground if the ball is hit deep.
Yeah, that wind galing in a little bit certainly helps that situation. Anything hit towards left center is going to be brought right back to her as the first pitch to Leo Lili is in there for strike 1. Leo Lili 1 for 9 in the early season with a run scored. Charge of out hit the Eagles 4-0 so far. That ball's fouled right back towards us. And again, as you mentioned, Barbara, Dallas getting ahead of these hitters, and it gives her an opportunity to throw out of the strike zone and keep these hitters off balance. There you get a good look at the left-handed hitting Leo Lili, shortstop for the Beijing Eagles. Here's the 0-2 from Dallas Escobedo. And again, she tries to get the hitters to go outside the strike zone. Third baseman Takiako playing about a step in off the third base bag. Same thing from Sadaraka over at first. Middle infield playing behind in regular position, and the 1-2 count. As the Charge try to hold on to a 1-0 lead, they got it on the base hit by Taylor Gadbois, and she came all the way around to score on the Nadia Taylor swinging bunt with 1 out in the first. Taylor now 2 for 2 in the ballgame with a stolen base and a run scored. So Deuces Wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and that catches the corner for another called strikeout, the 2nd of the ball game for Escobedo. As once again, she gets the eye, gets the call, and is able to go to the outside corner on that breaking pitch, and a good job there by Sandberg to frame that pitch for out number 3. So Escobedo has gone through the Eagle lineup all the way through with unscathed here in the first 3 innings of play. We'll head to the top half of the 4th in a pitcher's duel as it's the Charge 1 and the Eagles 0 on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
I got started at IMS here as an instructor a couple years back after I'd heard a couple of people I worked with were also instructors here. And after being in the industry of radio and sports phone and TV and play-by-play for as long as I have been. I figured that it would be a good thing to come on out. I had some free time. Come on out and help out some of the people that want to be the next people involved in these kind of things, next people that hit the radio airwaves and also do play-by-play. So I thought it was a great idea and a great place to do it at. When I'm here, it's great because there's always somebody that has either heard me, has wanted to meet me, and once they meet me, I explain to them, okay, it wasn't that big a deal. But if I'm always here if you need help with developing what you're passionate about. And that's what most people come here for. They have a passion. They want to do something. They want to do radio play-by-play. They want to do sports talk. They want to do updates, whatever it may be. I love being here.
Top half of the fourth inning of play and a 1-0 lead for the Texas Charge over the Beijing Eagles. As that pitch catches the outside corner, and Swing Away continues to earn the validation as the premier hitting machine at the highest levels of the game. The official batting station and hitting trainer for NPF is built to take the constant use and demands of the professional athlete. Now that same technology that's used by the pros is also available to all players of all ages as that fly ball is hit down to center. And that wind really held up that one as Chen Jia is able to settle under it for out number one.
Sadaraka gave that ball a ride. A good drive to center, but again, the wind blowing in tonight. Someone's really going to have to get all of it to get it out of here.
Getting back to Swing Away is Barbara. Let's take a look at some keys right here in this ball game.
Well, the Charge is doing just that with Dallas Escobedo, setting the tone in the circle. They scored early. They got that run in the first inning. And I think a key to them is to score more and put this game away.
Leo Lili plays it off to short op with a sidearm flip on the play over to Yuan Ming Han. Nicely done. Is number 5 now starting to really flash the leather, this time on Sandberg.
Leo Lili is really showing us her skills tonight at shortstop. Again, another high hopper. Leo Lili got a great jump, and really, she's very accurate in all of her skills. As we take a look at some of the keys for the Eagles, those are actually the keys for the Charge. And that's setting the tone early, as we talked about. But one of the other things was to make the routine plays on defense. But here for the Eagles, to not give up any big innings. So if the Charge get something going, limit it like they did in the first inning, only giving up 1 run. Offensively, they got to get their speed on the bases, and then they want to string together some base hits. And right now, they're just looking for any base hit, as the Eagles are hitless right now with Escobedo in the circle.
Missy Takiaku playing the hot corner tonight, 0 for 1 as she grounded out to the aforementioned Leo Lili. Back in the second inning of play, here's the 1-1. That's fisted on the play, and it's going to be played in foul territory by Yuan Ming Han, and she makes the play to retire the side. So a nice 1-2-3 inning here for Wang Lan and the Beijing Eagles. So we will head to the bottom half of the fourth inning as both Escobedo and Wang Lan throwing up goose eggs all evening long so far. It's 1-0 Charge. We'll be back after a brief timeout on the Olympic Channel at NPF TV.
And wanted to be part of sports radio. So after trying a couple other things, and I'm not really being what I wanted to do, I found my passion for media and especially sports radio at the Illinois Media School. What I enjoy is finding like-minded people like myself that have a passion for the media industry and are willing to do whatever it takes to reach their goals and be what they want to be in this industry. And that's what I like about the students you continue to see at the Illinois Media School. A lot of talent, a lot of drive, and that pushes you to be better as well as making everybody's work better on top of that. My name's Rick Camp. I'm a producer at 670 The Score. I'm an instructor at the Illinois Media School, and I am IMS.
If you can dream it, we can make it. That is custom eye black or battle paint. Eye black plus color. Visit eyeblack.com, home of the official eye black of National Pro Fast Pitch. We head to the bottom half of the fourth inning of play, a 1-0 lead for Dallas Escobedo and the Texas Charge over the Beijing Eagles, as they will have the top of the order with Yuan Wai Ning, Qian Jiha, and Lu Ying, possibly to come back and be reinserted into the lineup here for Teresa Wilson. You're talking about these players going over to the Team USA for the Charge, Barbara, and interesting situation as Dallas is going to handle that for her 10th consecutive out. You know, back early in the mid part of the new millennium, players were doing that in the NPF, going to Venezuela for the World Tournament. I had a chance to talk to Vicky Galindo about that, about traveling to Venezuela and, you know, going in the middle of the season as the first pitch is right there, but it does catch the top part of the strike zone for strike one to Chen Jia. And now they're going back to that particular role again, giving these players an opportunity to play on the world stage in anticipation of the 2020 Olympics coming up.
I think that's one of the reasons we see that Beijing has put a team here in National Pro Fast Pitch. We are seeing the growth of softball throughout the world. And I think the Eagles playing here in the United States, we're understanding how China plays softball, but they're also understanding how the Americans compete. But I love that they are in the league. I think it shows the growth. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another international team in the next year or two joining National Pro Fast Pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Chen Jia. Off to a good start offensively, as that's going to go right over the camera berth to our left. Yeah, your point's well taken there, Barbara. And, you know, as we get more international flavor in the league, of course, we've got the 6 Aussies playing right here in Chicago right now. That certainly changed the dynamic of the black and orange that play here at the ballpark at Rosemont. It's really good for both sides because the players certainly get their eyes open to different techniques. As there you see our fine sponsor, iBlack, as that ball is squibbed down to Takiyaku to throw right across to Sadaraka. 1 up and 1 down here for the Eagles. Actually now 2 outs to the third hitter coming up, and that was a substitution earlier as Wang Bei came in. As there you get the speedy Chen Jia being thrown out there by Takiyaku. And the league kind of went back and forth on that too as far as their feelings about, you know, taking players off the rosters, but I just think that the depth of the teams now is so much greater that they can have these players go and experience that international competition, and the teams here are not missing a beat.
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, back in 2010, USA Softball, specifically here in the United States, made the players choose either play professionally or play for USA Softball, and every member of that Olympic team that continued their career chose National Pro Fast Pitch because they knew and they believed that this is where the talent was at and this is where and why they could grow the game. So you have to look at what they've done. If you look at the depth of the talent on each one of these 6 teams here in the NPF, it continues to grow, and it's truly exciting for the sport.
0-2 pitch is wasted nicely by Escobedo, as she has now retired 11 consecutive Eagles here in the bottom half of the 4th, but just a 1-0 lead, so she's had to stay on her toes here in the circle as she goes and rocks to the bottom of it, and Sandberg tries to frame that one. And now we've got Deuces Wild with 2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. If you're just joining us, Taylor Gadbois got the only run of this game back in the first on an infield single and came around to score from second base. As that ball's laced into left field, that's going to be the first hit, and it goes past Landry all the way to the corner. Going around into third base on the play will be the aforementioned Wang Bei with a sliding triple, and the tying run is 60 feet away now for the Eagles.
The first hit of the night for the Eagles, well, it's a big one as this ball gets by Bailey Landry in left field. Wang Bei races around all the bags and slides safely into third.
Another extra base hit for the Beijing Eagles. And now let's see what the strategy is going to be here. They got the perfect hitter up now in Shi Kai-Lin for the home team. Takiyaku playing way in at third base, looking for a potential bunt situation. Escobedo into the rock with a nice breaking pitch that Steve Gold says crossed the outside corner for strike 1.
And if I'm Escobedo and I keep getting that outside corner to the left-handed batters, I'm going to keep throwing it there off the plate.
And she puts it right there again. You called it, Barbara, and she'll just keep going there as long as she gets that frame there from Sandberg. Kylene on fire here in the early going. And the 0-2 is swung on and missed. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for Kylene. And that will retire the side as Escobedo has struck out at least one hitter in every inning. And there you see again the triple the other way to Wang Bei that got by Landry, and we saw some great speed from number 15 as she slides in, but the Eagles strand her 60 feet away with the tying run. So the Eagles fail to score. They do pick up that aforementioned triple, their first hit of the ball game, but they strand her at third base. We'll head to the top of the fifth. The Texas Charge still leading by a score of 1-0 over the Beijing Eagles on the Olympic Channel at NPF TV. Top half of the fifth inning of play and a 1-0 leader. And there you can get in touch with the Texas Charge and all their Facebook as well as Twitter and Snapchat accounts. And there you get some of the information. I had a chance to talk to Scott Smith, the president and general manager, before the ball game, and talked about that great interstate rivalry they got going now with the Scrapyard Dogs.
Yeah, it is. I think that's exactly what it's going to become, is a rivalry. They are the two newest teams in the NPF. Charge, this is their third year in the league, formerly from Dallas, now this year playing out of the Bobcat Stadium for Texas State.
Adidas products break records, set trends, and make history every day all over the world. As that ball's grounded foul. Everything we do is bound by one simple thought. We strive to help you perform at your best. Your success is our ambition. Your defeat spurs us on to do better. You can find us at adidas.com or follow us at Adidas US. And yeah, that became a more of a regional situation for the Charge, Barbara, as they're basically drawing from a couple different markets now with Austin as well as San Antonio there in San Marcos.
Yeah, and I think a great pickup naming Scott Smith as the new general manager. Very disciplined man. He spent 26 years in the U.S. Army. He accepted this position.
Enough said.
Yeah, August 2016. So he ended his 26 years in November 2016 to be full-time with the Texas Charge.
And thank you very much for your service, sir.
Absolutely.
So Amanda Kamikona will come to the plate. She bounced back to Wang Lan back in inning number 2, as Wang now entering her 5th inning of work. She has really been the workhorse in the circle so far for the Beijing Eagles. Here's the 2-2. Good job by Amanda to foul that one off. Amanda's donned various uniforms. And there again, you see the tweet there coming in. Top half of the 5th. Charge have out-hit the Eagles, now 4-1. The 2-2 is hit. It's got home run distance if it stays fair, but it curves foul into the corner. As once again that wind knocked down that ball, as Amanda was able to turn on that pitch nicely.
Kamikona, one of those players growing up, grew up playing baseball in Southern California. Actually played baseball until she was 16 years old, then realizes she wanted to get a scholarship for college, and that's how she transferred to softball.
She's fighting right now to stay alive here on Wang Lan. We've got some action now in the Eagle bullpen. And that is Chung Wei Yao loosening up, the right-hander for Coach Wilson. Kamikona with a wide open stance from the right-hand side. Here's the 2-2. And I think she failed to check up. They're not going to take any chances with the ground, with the ball bouncing into Shi Kai-Lin.
That's a nice job by Wang Lan. Again, moving the ball, going down in the zone. And nice skills behind the plate by Shi Kai-Lin.
Third strikeout for Wang Lan here tonight. And Wang Lan on the season with 7 strikeouts, and she has yet to walk a hitter this year. She's shown great poise as well as accuracy in the circle here for Coach Wilson. Renata Davis has one of the 4 charge hits tonight, a double, but then she was thrown out trying to steal third base with 2 outs. And that's how the top half of the second ended for the visitors. And Davis again trying to get that ball down to third base.
Well, Mike, we had a chance to visit with head coach Crystal Bustos of the Texas Charge, and she was telling us that she wants the players, even though it's early, this is only their 6th game of the season, she wants the players to be more instinctive, to realize they know the game. Don't look for her for a sacrifice or when to hit behind a runner. Do what you know instead of relying on the head coach to tell you, basically what cards to play.
Here's the 0-2 now by Wang Lin, and that's looped into left field. It'll be played on a hop by Su Shun. So Renata Davis is now 2 for 2, and we'll go back to the top of the order with Taylor Gadbois.
Nice job by Renata Davis. Again, getting fisted, but strong enough to sink this ball in for a base hit.
Well, that's just a quick swing there by Davis, really pulling in the hands to get the barrel of the bat on the ball on that inside pitch. So Taylor Gadbois has been a thorn in the side of the defense here for the Eagles as she's 2 for 2, the former Tiger from Missouri. Good speed aboard with Davis. Very impressed with the fundamental play by Shi Kai-Lin behind the plate, Barbara. She really jumps out of that crouch and gets ready to throw, and we saw her skills in scooping up that errant third strike and throwing down to first.
She also does a great job on anticipation with runners on base. She doesn't get caught sitting.
That's a big insurance run for the Charge to pick up. Yeah, talking to Coach Bustos, and she was mentioning that the skill level for these players is very high, off the charts, and they certainly can do all the 5 things that you can do in softball, with hitting for power, speed, defense, pitching, of course, and hitting for average as that ball is grounded down to the third baseman, Wang Bei, and she is going to go ahead and eat it there as nobody was at first base. Both middle infielders went over to cover on Renata Davis.
So this is a nice job by Texas Charge because they understand that the Eagles are having some communication problems on who's covering what bag, and on that play, Chung Yen covers second base on the bunt, where Yuan Ming charged, nobody at first base. So Texas Charge adds another runner on base.
Boy, good job there by Wang Bei. She could have threw that ball right into right field and could have gave up 2 runs there. Good job of holding on to the softball. Is now Bailey Landry, who scalded the ball last time up, will come up. Hits that off the end of the bat for strike 1. Yeah, those instincts that players develop, that's something that you get over time. And it's certainly something that's not taught. It's instinctive and it's situational. Here's the 0-1 now by Wang Lan, and that's fouled back. And, of course, you played the game, Barbara. You understand that. You understand that certain situations call for certain types of hitting, whether you sacrifice or, give up that out to get that runner over and then get him in.
I think a big part of that is for Bailey Landry. She's coming in right out of college, playing her career at LSU. But for the players that have been in the league, it's getting yourself in shape to do those things that you need to do to help your team win.
Good job by Shi Kylene to hold on to that foul tip for the second strikeout of the inning for Wang Lan. And that's a huge out there. So now 2 outs. And with first base, with 2 runners on now to Nadia Taylor.
Wang Lan did a nice job with her drop ball, getting Landry for the second time tonight with the strikeout.
4 punch outs now with 2 of those coming against the slugger Landry. Now Nadia Taylor is looking for her first hit tonight. Grounds it sharply to Liu Lili. She'll go the short way and get the force over to Chao Jing. And once again, number 5 continues her great play at shortstop.
Nice job by Liu Lili, showing her glove with a nice soft throw to collect the third out of the inning.
So that'll be a 6-4 on the put out there of Davis coming, or checked out of Gadbois coming down to second base. So the Charge failed to score here in the top half of the 5th. They pick up a couple base hits and they strand both runners. We will head to the bottom half of the 5th inning of play. So far, Texas Charge still leading the Beijing Eagles 1-0. You're watching the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
Quiero tener un trabajo en algo que me encante. Quiero divertirme y a la vez conocer muchas personas. El Illinois Media School tiene muchas cosas increíbles que ofrecer, no solo para mí, sino para todos sus estudiantes. Y con todas las cosas que aprendes, no hay manera de no ser exitoso. Aprenderás no solo a hacer segmentos de audio al aire y usar el equipo de cámara, incluso puedes tener tu propio show de radio o televisión. Y los instructores trabajan en la industria. Así que visita bionair.com y empieza tu carrera en broadcasting ya.
Welcome back here to the ballpark at Rosemont. 1-0 lead for the Texas Charge over the Beijing Eagles. As the Eagles will send the middle third of their order, starting it off will be Nancy Bowling, who so far is 0 for 1 with a ground out to Kami Kona back in the second inning of play. Dallas Escobedo into the rock. That one's hit right up the elevator shaft. Let's see if there's any room for Sandberg. There's not. And fans, you can stay connected with your favorite teams and players all season long by downloading the NPF app or following the NPF on all social media platforms at ProFastPitch, hashtag NPF 2017. Escobedo has given up only 1 hit so far in 4 innings of work, a triple to Wang Bei that skipped by Bailey Landry back in the 4th inning of play, but then the Eagles stranded her there with 2 outs. Very impressed with the pitch placement so far for Dallas Escobedo this evening. That ball again is fisted right over the screen and out of play.
And again, and we look again, Escobedo continues to get ahead of the hitters. And you hear this when pitchers are young, you have to get ahead, but it remains to be a key to any pitcher's success, getting ahead in the count. And we have seen Escobedo's success here tonight because she has done that successfully for the first 4 innings she's pitched.
He's also done a great job of not getting that ball over the plate on an 0-2 pitch and giving up those hits when the batter's in the hole. There's a sharp grounder. Renata Davis bobbles, and she will not be able to recover on that one. And it looks like they're going to put up an error right away there on the shortstop and former Wolfpack for the Texas Charge.
It's a sharp ground ball to Davis, but a play that Davis should make as it's just in and out of her glove. And we saw when the Charge was taking batting practice earlier today, head coach Crystal Bustos, who was a shortstop, spent some time at shortstop during her career. A lot of people know her for her hitting, but She was fantastic on the defensive side. She was out there with Renata Davis before the game, going over footwork, talking about angles. But the thing that impressed me the most, Mike, was that Coach Bustos was fielding ground balls barehanded. I thought that was pretty cool.
Now Roman 4 coming in here as we've got a substitution coming in at first base, a pinch runner for the Eagles, as they try to get some speed on there, as Nancy Bowling has gone back to the bench. I think that was Leo Fifi over there, number 1. And meanwhile, Sue Shun.
First base, number 1, Liu Fifi. Fifi pinch running for Bowling at first base.
So some good speed aboard here in the 5th inning, as Coach Wilson knows there's not going to be a lot of opportunities here to get that tying run or possibly take the lead in this game. So Sue Shun is 0 for 1. She shortens up and bounces it over. Here's a long throw, and let's see, they overplay the bag there, but the throw was in time there to Kami Kona. A nice throw there all the way across the diamond by Takiaku as they get the force at second base.
I'll tell you what, Takiaho's momentum was coming all the way into home plate, but she throws back across the field. But the play that makes this is the backhanded dig by Kami Kona to finish that play.
Yeah, that ball could have ended up in center field, and they could have had a real problem. Sue Shun remains at first base on the fielder's choice, as Yeo Ming Han will foul it off the screen. The Akron Racers and Scrapyard Dogs are tied at 3 apiece in the 4th inning. Akron came up with 3 in the 2nd. Scrapyard answered with 1 in their half of the frame and then picked up 2 more in the 3rd to tie it up. Scrapyard been showing some good power here in the early going. Nerissa Myers, Elisa Goller. It's been a former Bandit party down there with the power hitting.
A lot of movements in the offseason, and the Bandits had some players, even though they won back-to-back Kohl's Cup, had some players go to different teams. Angel Bunner goes to USSSA. Brittany Cervantes, Elisa Goller. I'm sorry, Elisa Goller was a Bandit, then a Rebellion, now a Scrapyard Dog. Brittany Cervantes now down with the Scrapyard Dogs. And don't forget about the head coach of the Bandits from last year. Now a coach with the Scrapyard Dogs. That's Mike Stewarwall.
Yep, he's doing some front office work for them. Here's the 2-1 now by Dallas. That's it right back towards us and out of play, evening the count up at 2-2. And that was the first game that Cervantes coming back from Japan playing for Scrapyard tonight, as she gets the nod along with her former teammate from the Bandits, Taylor Edwards, doing a great job behind the plate. And Elisa Goller been doing some great job off the bench for the Scrapyard Dogs in the power department. So runner on first base is Sue Shun. That's the tying run for the home team tonight. And the 2-2 catches the outside corner, and Dallas Escobedo continues to pick up at least 1 strikeout every inning out here tonight.
Great performance so far by Escobedo, and again, she continues to stretch the zone, painting those corners.
Well, I can see where you can get really comfortable in the circle with Kristen Sandberg behind the plate.
Well, Sandberg's so experienced behind the plate. And she not only does a great job framing, I think she just really establishes a good confidence with the pitcher. She understands or helps them understand what's working well and what the pitchers need to do to be successful.
Chung Yen fouls it straight back and out of play. And again, Escobedo ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Britt Vonk picking up a couple of RBIs for the Scrapyard Dogs in that game. And meanwhile, the Akron Racers doing a great job of spreading the wealth. Kristen Wyckoff picking up a couple of hits and an RBI. Griffin Joyner and A.J. Andrews, another former Bandit, picking up an RBI for the Akron Racers. Here's the 0-2 now by Dallas, and a swing and a miss as she picks up her 2nd strikeout, so she gets 1 looking and 1 swinging here in the 5th inning of play. So we will head to inning number 6 as again Dallas Escobedo going to the bottom of the circle and working her magic as she picks up the strikeout there of Chung Yen. We'll head to the top half of the 6th inning of play. That 1st inning run holding up so far for the Charge as they lead it 1-0. You're watching the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
What if there were no rules? no limits. Nothing to stop you pushing harder, running faster, reaching higher. What if you could train and perform at your peak? Feel stronger for longer. Be your best. Always. Every time.
Welcome back here to the ballpark in Rosemont. We move to the top half of the sixth inning of play. Rawlings is the leading manufacturer and marketer of sporting goods in the United States and the official helmet of National Pro Fast Pitch. Through its products and players, Rawlings is unquestionably the mark of a pro. New hurler in the circle for the Beijing Eagles is Li Chi, as she will come in. Let's take a look at the thumbnail sketch here of number 3. So far, she's pitched 2 2/3 innings, given up 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. She's walked 3, struck out 1 with an 0-run record and a 7.88 earned run average for the softball. Middle third of the order for the Charge with Hager, Sadaratka, and Sandberg to face the lefty for Coach Teresa Wilson. Charge have out-hit the Eagles 6-2, both teams with a miscue so far tonight. And the Taylor Gadboy's base running excellence, so far the difference in this game.
Way back in the first inning, it was Nadia Taylor who just hit a ball right in front of the plate with Gadboy's on second. And when the catcher fielded and threw it to first, Gadboy's going from second to home. Quickly as that.
You know, the old saying, speed kills, and it certainly does here in the NPF. Count now 1-2 to Hager. She is 1 for 2, single to left in the first, and she is one of 3 strikeout victims for Eagle pitchers tonight. Nice let-up pitch is softly lined over to the third baseman Wang Bei, and she'll put it away for out number 1. That's a can of corn there for Wang Bei at the third base bag. So now Misha will come to the plate. She's 0 for 2 so far tonight. Well, this is eerily similar to that opening game of their history here in the NPF when they lost 1-0, Barbara. Just a great pitcher's duel between these two ball clubs.
Well, Wang Lon, the starting pitcher for the Eagles, really did a nice job scattering 6 hits through her 5 innings in the circle. And now I like this compliment to her, bringing in Li Chi, who has an off-speed. She doesn't throw quite as hard. So it's a different look for the Charge batters.
Got a double barrel activity now for Teresa Wilson and the Eagle bullpen. Meanwhile, Li Chi is ahead of Sadaratka here, no balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if she goes to the waste pitch here. She gets the sign from Shi Kylene, and she does that nicely. And just those little things like that they're starting to pick up in the game as they continue to improve. Sadaratka so far is 0 for 2. She did reach on an error back in the first. Let up pitches hit towards left field. Su Shun goes back to the track, back to the wall as it hits the base of the wall. And that's going to be a stand-up double here for Misha Sadaratka. So the Charge pick up a very important insurance runner here in scoring position with 1 out in the 6th.
Sadaratka gives it a long drive to left field off the top of the wall as it stays inside the ballpark.
Yeah, I think the wind may have kept that from heading over the wall on the Boomba sign at the 210 mark. And now Roman 4 is going to come in as you see that ball just kind of drifting there on Su Shun.
Well, Su Shun got caught running with the ball a little bit. It was a high fly ball, and she about ran back on it at the same pace. Had she possibly sprinted back and found the wall, I think she would have been able to bring that ball in.
So now they're going to pinch hit here for Sandberg. Katiyanga Maunga is going to come into the ball game here, the former Wildcat from Arizona, and she will come in now and hit for Kristen Sandberg.
A pinch runner and a pinch hitter for Texas, running at second, number 1, Brittany Gomez.
Brittany Gomez is going to be the runner here for Sadarotka at second base. So the rookie draftee will come in, Gomez, out of Iowa State.
Malga pinch hitting for Kristen Sandberg. Gomez running for Sadaraka.
Malga so far 1 for 8 on the season with a run scored. She picked up 3 RBI, so she made a lot of use of that one base hit. So Lee Chi gets her sign. Good job by Shi Kylene as she's framed that pitch, and the count evens up at 1 apiece.
Well, Malga comes in her rookie season, and no surprise, her one hit is a home run as she finished her collegiate career at the University of Arizona, second all-time in the NCAA in home runs with 91, second behind Lauren Chamberlain of USSSA.
Good job by Lee Chi on that one. Yeah, right in the stratosphere there are some of the best home run hitters in the history of collegiate softball. Lee Chi keeping the power hitter off balance with that off-speed pitch. Both corners playing to cut off extra base hit for, and waved on and missed by Malga. And again, a strikeout for the bullpen from the Eagles in a clutch situation, and now there's 2 out.
Well, this is a nice job by Lee Chi because she gets ahead of Malga and then she just stretches the zone with 2 strikes and gets Malga to chase.
Takiaku now will come to the plate. Missy is 0 for 2 so far with a ground out to Leo Lili at short, and then she fouled out back in the 4th inning of play. Looking ahead to the Eagle half of the 6th, they'll have the bottom of the order with Leo Lili, and then back to the top of the order against Escobedo as the Charge bullpen remains dormant. Takiaku with a wide open stance from the right-hand side. Here's the 0-1. And let's see what they decide to do at first base open here, and 2 outs. Double threes out of Cal State. Outfield again playing medium depth, looking to cut off this possible insurance run here for the Charge. They've out-hit the Eagles now 7-2. Lee Chi's 1-1 hit right up the elevator shaft. Let's see if they call off the catcher, and they do so. Good job of communication as Yuan Ming Han calls off Shi Kylene and makes the catch there, Barbara. Good communication.
Nice job by the Eagles. We've seen their communication on balls put in play tonight.
So the Charge waste another extra base hit. They have now stranded 6 through 6 innings of offensive softball. We'll head to the bottom half of the 6th as the Charge again leading by the slimmest of margin over the Beijing Eagles 1-0. You're watching the Olympic TV channel as well as NPF TV.
I want to have a job in something I love. I want to have fun and meet new people. I want to be social. The Illinois Media School has so many cool things they offer for me and their students. With the amount of stuff you learn, there's no way you won't succeed. You'll learn how to do a voiceover, how to use camera equipment. I mean actual hands-on. You can even host your own radio or TV show. All of our instructors actually work in the industry too. So go to beonair.com and start your future in broadcasting today. The Illinois Center for Broadcasting is now the Illinois Media School. We've been an institution in the Chicagoland area now for 30 years. Because the broadcasting world is always changing, so are we. Not only are we teaching radio and television production, but now you can learn all aspects of the media industry, like web design. You can even specialize in TV or film, sports broadcasting, and even sales. No matter where you are in the Chicagoland area, we have a campus near you. The Illinois Media School. Be on TV, be on radio, beonair.com.
Thanks again. Great job by Ryan Fahey, Peter Ferrari, and the rest of the folks at the Illinois Media School for helping us out here tonight, doing a great job producing and directing today's broadcast. We head to the bottom half of the 6th inning of play, Barbara Jordan, and boy, this has certainly turned out to be a great pitcher's duel as the Eagle bullpen comes in and does the job for Beijing. First pitch to Leo Lely, a little bit outside for ball one.
Well, one of the things the Eagles needed tonight was a strong pitching performance, and they got that from Wang Lan for 5 innings. And then this past inning, Li Chi coming in and putting them in a position where the Eagles can win this game, down 1-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Leo Lely, one of the strikeout victims for Dallas Escobedo. She's had at least one punch out in every frame tonight, including 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and a single strikeout in the first, fourth, and fifth. There's certainly been a lot of 1-2 and 0-2 counts tonight.
Well, we've talked all night about Escobedo continually getting ahead of the Eagle batters. And that's what's given her a lot of success so far.
And a swing and a miss by Leo Lely. So Escobedo now with 8 strikeouts tonight. So Escobedo came in with not a stellar strikeout to walk ratio. And she had walked 4 and struck out 3 coming in. But now she's up to 11-4 in that category. She's not walked a hitter tonight as well. So Yuen Wei Ning, the leadoff hitter for Coach Wilson, will stand in. And again, now she's behind. No balls and 2 strikes quickly. Chen Jia on deck. There you get a good look at the former Sun Devil. Puts that one right on. It looks like both her and Kristen Sandberg right now got a great rapport going on tonight.
Well, if the batters are going to continue to swing at the pitches out of the zone, there's no need to throw the ball in the zone.
And a good job by Kristen to frame that one. And that's strikeout number 9 now for Escobedo.
And this is what happens. When you're uncertain what the zone is and you chase balls out of the zone, you start guessing as a hitter, and then you start taking good pitches in the zone.
And that ball has to be entirely in the strike zone at the top of the zone. It can catch a part of it at the bottom and the sides, but it's got to be all the way in at the top. Chen Jia so far 0 for 2. She's one of the 9 strikeout victims for Escobedo, swinging in the first, and then she grounded out to Takiako back in the fourth. Stay tuned after the game. We'll name our Vaults Lock It Up Player of the Game.
I know who I'm leaning towards.
I don't think either of us are going to go out on the heavy limb tonight if things stay the same. 2 strikeouts here are the first 2 hitters. And everything, even if it misses, is within just fractions of an inch. Outfield playing very shallow and playing Chen Jia to swing a little bit late. As Dallas has been right around 65, 66 on the fastball, and with that breaking pitch, certainly a nice distinction in speed between those 2 pitches coming into the hitter. Takiako playing about a step off the bag at third. Deuce is wild. And the pitch catches the corner, and Steve Gold rings it up. So it is a strikeout of the side for Dallas Escobedo and the Texas Charge. So the Charge giving high fives to everybody here in the sideline. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on base. 6 innings in the books. We'll head to the top half of the 7th in a pitcher's duel tonight as the Charge continue to lead the Eagles here on Olympic TV and NPF TV by a score of 1-0.
tener un trabajo en algo que me encante. Quiero divertirme y a la vez conocer muchas personas. El Illinois Media School tiene muchas cosas increíbles que ofrecer, no solo para mí, sino para todos sus estudiantes. Y con todas las cosas que aprendes, no hay manera de no ser exitoso. Aprenderás no solo a hacer segmentos de audio al aire y usar el equipo de cámara, incluso puedes tener tu propio show de radio o televisión. Y los instructores trabajan en la industria. Así que visita bionair.com y empieza tu carrera en broadcasting ya.
Top half of the seventh here in a 1-0 ball game, and the teams at the top swing Louisville Slugger. You too can swing the technology that's dominating the game at every level of play, from high school to the NCAA championships to the world stage. Visit slugger.com for more information. So the Charge now trying to get a little bit of insurance here in a 1-0 ball game. Kylie Lawners has picked up a bat here, the former Husky, batting here for Kamikona and the Charge. And she certainly has got some great power off the bench here for Coach Bustos. Open stance from the right-hand side. She wears the shin guard as protection on the front foot as Lee Chi's pitch stays downstairs to even the count up. The former Washington Husky looking for her first hit of the season. Lee Chi, as many of these pitchers for the Beijing Eagles, started her softball way back in the late 90s, back in 1998. Started professionally in 2001, so she's been a professional pitcher here for about 16 years.
That's impressive.
Couple of Olympic Games, Barbara, in 2004 and 2008, so she's been on the biggest stage of them all.
And I'm sure being here over in the United States and facing the greatest hitters in the league in National Pro Fast Pitch, she's getting fine-tuned and gearing up for 2020.
Staff has started to develop some depth for Coach Wilson. We've already talked about Wang Lan and what she's been able to do. Nancy Bowling has been able to come in and give him some long relief. And now Lee Chi starting to fortify the bullpen. Here's a 3-2sports.com payoff coming up here in a 1-0 ball game. And it hits the corner, and Steve Gold rings her up for strikeout number 1 for Lee Chi out of the bullpen. Actually, her second strikeout.
Lee Chi going right at Lawners, and with 2 strikes, she paints that outside corner. Lawners unable to pull the trigger.
Steve Gold's been very consistent on both sides of the plate tonight. So Renata Davis, who's perfect so far this evening, 2 for 2. An extra base hit back in the second and a single. As Taylor Gadbois, the leadoff hitter, waits on deck for the Charge. Texas trying to even up their record at 3 apiece and keep the Beijing Eagles winless. But I tell you what, this Beijing Eagle team has gone through a lot of Heartbreak Hotel here so far, as now that hits Davis. So they have a 1-out base runner here in the 7th.
I'll tell you, we've talked about Davis during her career with the Charge. She's batted leadoff. She's been in the 2-hole this year. She's in the 9-hole, and it's a great fit for her as she has reached base all 3 times tonight.
She takes that off the left side there. Looked like an off-speed pitch, so probably not a lot of pain on that one. As now Taylor will come to the plate. She is 3 for 3 here tonight and has scored the only run of the ball game, as that ball was caught there by Shi Kai-Lin. They're actually going to say that it was they call that a ball. They got a strike on the scoreboard unless they said that they were trying to see whether or not she was out or not. No, they do finally call it a ball. So Gadbois continuing her all-NPF performance from last year with a good start here in 2017. Wade Bond is way in at the third base bag, as they're expecting small ball here from Gadbois.
Renata Davis going on that pitch. So a little slap and run for the Charge with 1 out.
Renata did a good job there looking back at the hitter about halfway down. She got some good speed heading towards second base. So here's the 1-1 in a 1-0 ball game. One out here in the seventh. And this time they pitch out, but Renata's not going.
And with that pitch out, I think it's the first time tonight where we've seen the Eagles go to the right base defensively. A lot of times tonight, the Charge has showed bunt, and the Eagles have come up short covering a base.
Outfield playing medium depth to play Taylor to go the other way. Beautiful play at third base by Wong Bei, and they double up Renata Davis. What a play.
Wong Bei covers so much ground to bring this soft liner in. Lu Li was actually breaking towards the bag as Davis was going on the pitch. If she doesn't come up with that ball, it easily goes through. Huge play on the defensive side, and now we're going to see if that defensive play can give the Eagles some momentum as they come up for their last offensive at-bat.
Once again, Wong Bei at third base, anticipating that situation as Gadboy just tried to get that ball over her head. She gets it right in the webbing and has the presence of mind to go right across with the laser beam throw over to Yuen Ming Han for the 5-3 twin killing. So in the inning for the Charge, they failed to score. They do not get a base hit, and they leave no runners on the double play, the 5-3 double play there by Wang Bei. And we will head to the bottom half of the seventh. The Eagles need 1 to tie and 2 to win as they trail here to the Texas Charge 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the seventh on Olympic TV and NPF TV. And welcome back here to the ballpark at Rosemont as we move to the bottom half of the seventh inning of play. And the Beijing Eagles need at least 1 here to tie, Barber, or 2 to come up with a victory. And we'll see if Dallas Escobedo can finish the deal. Wong Bei, who made that great defensive play, and is what happens a lot in not only baseball but in softball, the player that makes the great play in the last half of the inning leads it off the next inning. And now Escobedo quickly ahead of her, no balls and 2 strikes. And Coach Bustos has all the confidence in the world here in Dallas as there's no action right now in the bullpen.
Well, North, should there be, Escobedo has been in command. She really has dominated so far. I guess you could always have somebody loosening up. You never know. But Escobedo tonight has really done it right. She has not fallen behind a single hitter.
And the 0-2 is tomahawk foul. President and GM Scott Smith standing nervously in the bullpen as he tries to get his ball club to the 500 mark and keep track and keep pace with the USSSA Pride, who came up with a victory tonight in a sweep over the Chicago Bandits. Here's the 0-2. Grounded sharply, and it goes underneath the glove of Takiyaku into left field. So the Eagles have their leadoff runner here and the tying run on as they pick up their third base hit of the evening.
With 2 strikes, Escobedo too close to the plate. Wong Bei hits it sharply, gets it right by Takiyaho as it nicks off her glove and trickles out to left field.
So Leo Monmon will come to the plate now. And she will come in for Shi Kai-Lin. Monmon so far looking for her first base hit as a professional. And now the translator standing with Teresa Wilson trying to make sure that they get everything right here as far as what the strategy is going to be. And this is going to be a very interesting situation with the game on the line.
And there you see the extra woman standing in that circle with Coach Wilson, and that's the translator. And that is the big challenge for head coach Teresa Wilson, is everything she wants these players to understand has to be translated.
Yeah, I was talking to Jenny, who's the translator for them, and as well as Coach Wilson, here's the first pitch to Monmon, and it's fouled off the screen. And they were mentioning that it's very difficult sometimes because a lot of the slang that's developed over the years in the sport, and to be able to get that exactly in the correct translation for the player. So Wang Bei with good speed. We've already seen her go around the bases for a triple at first. This ball is fisted. Let's see. It's going to be corralled there by the second baseman for the Texas Chargers. Lawners is now moved in to take over for Kami Kona at second base. So one out here in the seventh.
Well, this ball fists Mom. She's unable to do anything with it, as it becomes routine for Lawners as she drop steps and brings it in.
So Nancy Bowling reinserted back into the lineup here as a tying run again at first base. Charge have out hit the Eagles 7-3, both teams with a miscue. And that one run that Taylor Gadbois was able to manufacture back in the first is still holding up. Bowling is 0 for 1. Now she shortens up as if to bunt, and it's caught in the air by Sandberg. And that's out number 2, and a great job by the Georgia Bulldog.
It was a great read by Bowling. Sadaraka was back at first base. Had she got this ball on the ground, she would have had herself a base hit, but she gets underneath it, and it becomes an easy out for Sandberg behind the plate.
So the last hope here for the Eagles is Sue Shun. She's 0 for 2 with a fielder's choice and a ground out to Kami Kona to end the second. She got a good cut at that one, but fouls it back to the screen for strike one. Escobedo looking for a 3-hit shutout. Trying to even up her record at 1 apiece and even up the Charge record overall at 3-3. Here's the 0-1. And it's lined in a diving catch by Takiako, and that's a Texas Charge winner.
Final score tonight, the Texas Charge defeat the Beijing.
Soon Chun turned on this ball and hit a laser at Takiaho, who made a fantastic catch to end this game and seal the win for the Texas Charge.
So both third basemen in both half of the seventh inning coming up with prime-time plays here to help their respective ball clubs. And the single run in the first inning that Taylor Gadbois was able to manufacture is, again, you get a look at the great reaction by Missy Takiako as a strand bay at first base to end the ball game is, again, rocket shot down there and moving to her right, just inside the third base bag. Not sure if that would have been fair or not, Barbara, but Missy wasn't taking any chances.
Well, it's a nice catch by Takiaho and a nice first win here at the ballpark at Rosemont this year for the Texas Charge. It's a good team win. They scattered 7 hits throughout the night. I'm sure they would have liked to have put up more runs.
So Crystal Bustos and Roman Four now talking to their Charges as they get together in shallow left field along with the president and general manager Scott Smith, and they will talk about this 1-0 victory over the Beijing Eagles as they now move to 3-3, and the Beijing Eagles now will fall to 0-5. We'll take a brief timeout. We will come back. Barbara will give us our final numbers here, and we will then go down to the field and interview our Vaults Lock It Up player of the game following the Charges' 1-0 victory over the Eagles on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV.
tener un trabajo en algo que me encante. Quiero divertirme y a la vez conocer muchas personas. El Illinois Media School tiene muchas cosas increíbles que ofrecer, no solo para mí, sino para todos sus estudiantes. Y con todas las cosas que aprendes, no hay manera de no ser exitoso. Aprenderás no solo a hacer segmentos de audio al aire y usar el equipo de cámara, incluso puedes tener tu propio show de radio o televisión. Y los instructores trabajan en la industria. Así que visita beonair.com y empieza tu carrera en broadcasting ya.
Welcome back to the ballpark at Rosemont. We had quite a game here at Rosemont. It was the Texas Charge taking on the Shogun Eagles, and it was the Texas Charge with 1 run in the first inning, and that run came with Nadia Taylor up to bat. She hit the ball out in front of the plate with 2 outs. Taylor Gadbois on that check swing hit in front of the plate came from second to home, scored the lone run of the game, and the story of the night was in the circle. It was Dallas Escobedo. 11 strikeouts on the night, was fantastic in the circle. She really set the tone. She was in charge the entire game. Offensively for the Charge, they were led by Taylor Gadbois at the top of the lineup, 3 for 3 on the night. Renata Davis in the 9-hole, 2 for 2 on the night. And the Charge were challenged defensively a couple times throughout the night. But it was on the offensive side where the Charge really tried to make things happen. They tested the Shogun Eagles on the defensive side. And it really ended up being a thriller, ended up being a pitcher's duel where everybody coming tonight thought we'd see a lot of runs put on the board. But really it came down to the pitchers. Wang Lon for the Eagles gave up 6 hits over 5 innings. And she was relieved by Li Chi, who gave up 1 hit in her 2 innings. And we're going to go down to the field with Mike Knezevich. He is with Dallas Escobedo, who is the Vault Lock It Up player of the game.
Welcome back here to the ballpark at Rosemont as the Texas Charge have defeated the Beijing Eagles by a score of 1-0. We're going to bring on our Vaults Lock It Up player of the ball game, and it's Dallas Escobedo of the Texas Charge. And Dallas, congratulations on the victory out here tonight. How did it feel being in the circle and getting a 3-hit complete game?
It felt great. My last outing didn't go as well as I planned, and to come out and just kind of have a good mental approach and just be able to come in strong and stay strong the whole game, it just felt good. This is a good night.
What is it like being in the circle and seeing that great defense behind you, especially Missy's play to end the game?
Oh, I know. I was like, thanks for making that up. She's like, I got you. So it's great. I mean, mishaps happen, but I know that it's not going to happen all the time. Like, they're great defenders out there. I mean, I couldn't ask for more, really.
On the offensive side of things, you get 3 hits from Taylor Gadbois and 2 from Renata Davis, a couple of veterans coming through for you. How about that speed at the top of the order by Taylor?
Definitely speed kills, and she is beyond fast. I was like, oh my gosh, that'll be a close play, and I'm like, she just beat it out like no other. So it's speed definitely kills, and then Renata coming up with a big hit and just having her speed as well. I mean, it all plays together.
How is it having a battery mate like Kristen Sandberg, a veteran that knows these hitters and knows the league?
Oh, she's phenomenal. I've had an opportunity to throw her for a while now, and couldn't be better. She's so good.
Well, congratulations, Dallas. 11 strikeouts tonight for you and the Charge. You come up with the shutout here, and best of luck the rest of the series and this season.
Thank you very much.
Dallas Escobedo is our Vaults Lock It Up player of the game tonight. 11 strikeouts and a 1-0 win for the Texas Charge over the Beijing Eagles. We'll send it back to Barbara Jordan, and we'll come back to wrap it up here on the Olympic Channel as well as on NPF TV.
What if there were no rules? No limits? Nothing to stop you pushing harder, running faster, reaching higher. What if you could train and perform at your peak, feel stronger for longer, be your best, always, every time?
Everyone has insecurities, and it really is about what you choose to do with them. Insecurities don't have to define you, but they can create a story for you. There's a positive way to be fulfilled through female athletics. If I could do one thing, it would just be to give someone the inspiration, be able to be more than they ever thought they could be.
I got started at IMS here as an instructor a couple years back after I'd heard a couple of people I worked with were also instructors here, and after being in the industry of radio and sports phone and TV and play-by-play for as long as I have been, I figured that it would be a good thing to come on out. I had some free time, come on out and help out some of the people that want to be the next people involved in these kind of things, next people that hit the radio airwaves and also do play-by-play. So I thought it was a great idea and a great place to do it at. When I'm here, it's great because there's always somebody that has either heard me, has wanted to meet me, and once they meet me, I explain to them, okay, it wasn't that big a deal. But if I'm always here if you need help with developing what you're passionate about, and that's what most people come here for. They have a passion. They want to do something. They want to do radio play-by-play. They want to do sports talk. They want to do updates, whatever it may be. I love being here and helping them become better at what they're trying to work at. And it's great because the one thing about the students is they're really good at listening to criticisms. Once you get into the business, it's difficult because people all think that, okay, I've made it. But here at the school, everybody wants to get better. And that's one of the better things, and one of the things I really enjoy about it is they'll come and they'll say, how can I make this better? And I always tell them I'm going to be super critical of everything I tell them because that's the only way they're going to get better. And it's great because every student I've talked to enjoys that because they all want to get better. And that's one of the things I love about it. My name is Fred Hubner. I work at ESPN 1000 as a host and sports anchor. I am an instructor here at the Lombard campus of the Illinois Media School, and I am IMS.
Mike Konezovich here to wrap it up here on the Olympic Channel and NPF TV. Again, thanks to Dallas Escobedo for being our Vaults Lock It Up player of the game tonight. 11 strikeouts for the former Arizona State Sun Devil. And, of course, Taylor Gadbois coming up with the only run in the game on an infield single and coming all the way around from second base on an infield out off the bat of Nadia Taylor. So we'll be back with you tomorrow. There's a doubleheader here at the ballpark at Rosemont as the Beijing Eagles will be hosting the Texas Charge again. And the Chicago Bandits will also be in action as well. Check the NPF website for all the details for our broadcast of NPF softball. Special thanks go out to the director today, Peter Ferreri, for his terrific support, as well as producer Ryan Fahey. Our camera folks, Alex Maldonado, along with Eddie Parker and Tim Helms, bringing you all the sights and sounds here of tonight's ball game at the ballpark at Rosemont. Special thanks to Barbara Jordan for coming in and helping us with color commentary today. We'll also see her tomorrow as well as we continue our coverage of this series between the Beijing Eagles and the Texas Charge as the Eagles continue their training right now after tonight's 1-0 loss to the Texas Charge. So that's going to wrap up our coverage here this evening. Again, check out the NPF website for our details for game number 2 of this series as the Texas Charge defeat the Beijing Eagles tonight by a score of 1-0. This is Mike Konezovich saying so long here from the ballpark at Rosemont. God bless America. God bless you all. Have a safe and wonderful evening, everybody. So long from the ballpark at Rosemont.